Hello, hello, Trike Patrol fans. We have a special guest with us today. Very interesting fella. We know who he is from his laugh alone.
Oh no.
We got Mr. KB with us.
Yeah, KB in the house.
What's up, KB?
Yeah, hello.
So, in case you don't know who KB is for some damn reason, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm a white guy, and for my English, I think it's pretty obvious that I hail from the United States of America, and I've been here on and off in the Philippines for over a decade, shooting adult videos, and that's about it. I guess
And another thing I want to point out, he's the guy with the mask.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody needs to shut the fuck up about that mask. I don't care if you. No, I've heard it so many times where people are like, "Oh, stop wearing the mask. Just blur your face." Motherfuckers, do you realize that if I have to blur my face for everything, not only is the square that ends up covering the blur section, the blur area, going to be bigger than the fucking mask, but on top of that, I have to sit there and do keyframing in the video editor. So frame by frame by frame, I have to move this motherfucking blur. So you know what? If you don't like the mask, I don't give a shit. Why do people get obsessed and upset over that in the first place? I mean, like, we're shooting adult videos here. Yeah, why are you trying to look at my face? You know, look at the girl.
Hey, bro, I like the mask.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's cool. It's a very nice one.
Well, the Guy Fawkes theme was not really intentional as any kind of political statement or anything like that. It just so happened that the year that it was really popular for a Halloween mask was the year I decided to get into trying to wear these masks to reduce the amount of time that I take in editing. So it was around Halloween time, and I went out and I bought like fucking 24 of them. They were dirt cheap, so.
Okay, so do you change the mask every shoot?
No, I've been wearing pretty much the same two masks until they break down.
From all the rough fucking, right?
Actually, they take a little bit of a beating when it comes to packing and unpacking, and they get moved around, and girls jump on the bed without looking, and they end up stepping on it and cracking one right down the middle, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, time to do a new one.
Shit happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. In this business, everything is completely unpredictable.
Oh, yeah, I will agree with you on that. Whatever got you into it, man? I'm really curious.
What got me into it? Okay, well, true story. I kind of was a bad boy in the United States who, I was working the graveyard shift in a retail joint that sold adult videos. So I was exposed to porn videos all for an entire like 8 to 10 hour shift. And when I was working there, I had this knack of bringing my camera and sometimes being able to talk the girls right out of their panties on the showroom floor and taking pictures.
Oh.
So yeah, my boss wasn't too happy about that, but you know. So
it was an HR thing, right?
it was just a, you know, if you're taking pictures, we need to have 2257 compliance and no. I'm like, hey bro, you know, if I'm letting them into the shop and I have a question about their age, I'll ask them for ID as they're stepping through the door. If a girl shows me that she's 18 and she's really flirty, yeah, I'm going to see if I can get her to drop her panties on the showroom floor. That's just a guy thing to do. And I was quite successful at it. My boss would watch the videos the next day, and then he would call me up and he'd be like, dude, what are you doing? So anyway.
Yeah, that's every chick that comes to the store to take off her panties.
Well, it wasn't every girl, but when I would get a young teenager-esque 18, 19-year-old girl in there, and she was obviously really excited about being in the shop and talking about sex toys, and talking about stimulation and sex and everything else. Yeah, it was just the natural thing to do. Oh, hey, by the way, I happen to be a photographer, which was a complete fallacy at the time. I just happened to own a decent DSLR. So since I had an expensive camera, they believed the photography line, and well, you know, flirtations happen, and I like seeing girls naked, so yeah. So what really got me into the business is while I happened to be working there, I kind of fucked up my life. Well, first, let me backtrack a little bit before that. Before I was working at the shop, I was doing something entirely different for a living that was rather green. And I was self-employed and making a lot of money, and I had a lot of time to sit on my ass at home working on music and all that yada yada yada. And so I started with the online dating thing because to be honest, I'm a complete recluse. I'm a fucking hermit. I don't like going out to clubs. I got enough of that shit when I was living in the U.S. working as security in bars and nightclubs and everything like that. So it's not something that I really like to do as a customer. You know, if you're going to pay me to be there, fine. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I decided that through a specific period of being single, I was going to try some online dating, and this one particular website where I was talking to a couple of girls, I got some messages from this just crazy, over-the-top, good-looking Filipina girl. I mean, just crazy, over-the-top, beautiful. So I'm talking to her for about 2 months or so. No video calls, just chatting on, Yahoo Messenger. I mean, if anyone remembers that even existing.
Good old Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah.
AOL AIM.
Yeah.
AIM was good.
Yeah, I think all that shit went the way of the dinosaur. So I was talking to this, what I assumed was a girl, for a couple of months, and so I walk out to the mailbox one day, and I grab the shit out of my mailbox. Inside of it is one of the local circulars, where they just put it out in the local area. They shove it in everyone's mailbox for free, and it's got advertisements to all the local businesses and all the yada yada yada. And then so I'm flipping through it, and then one particular full-page ad really just made my jaw drop, because there was a picture of the same girl that I thought I was talking to on the fucking dating site. So, yeah. So it turned out the person that I was talking to on the dating site was actually using the photo of a Filipina celebrity. And this particular Filipina celebrity happened to be announcing in the circular she was on a U.S. tour. She was a singer. Singer and actress. I'm not going to drop her name because that's not very fair to her. I don't think she knows what I ended up getting into, and I don't want this to come back to haunt her. So, but the ad was backed by popular demand, and then her name, and I was like, who the fuck? How is this possible? So, the night of the show, I decided I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna check this chick out. When I got there late. And walked up to the front door and asked the security. I was like, well, who's this person, and where? And they're like, oh, well, she was just on a little while ago. Her show's already done, but I think she's still here. She's out in her tour van. It's out back behind the club. I'm like, okay. So I ventured out there, knocked on the door. Some bakla, I assume, was her manager, ended up answering the door, and he's like, what can I do for you? And I was like, I tried to explain the situation. I said, hey, I've been talking to this girl for a couple of months on an online dating site, and then I showed him the ad, and I said, this is the picture that was sent to me. So for some reason, he goes back in, and he tells the girl that there's some cono outside, and he says he's been talking to you on an online dating site. So she was confused as fuck. So she comes to the door. I re-explained the whole situation to her, and she invites me in. And I mean, it was like, she had like one of those big ass touring Winnebagos. So I go in, I sit down, and I explain the whole scenario to her. I said, just really honestly, I said, I'm not here to, give you a hard time or anything like that. I know this person that I've been talking to on the dating site is a fake. She was using your photos, and I was just wondering if it would be possible to get a photograph of the two of us together so I can send it to this person and say, don't we look nice together? She laughed. She thought it was a great idea. So we took a few pictures, and after the pictures were done, she started scrawling on a notepad and ripped off the piece of paper, handed it to me. I'm looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck? This girl just gave me her phone number. So I ended up with her U.S. phone number and her phone number in the Philippines, and she says, call me anytime. So I was like, whoa, holy shit, this chick actually likes me. So yeah, we were a little thing for a little while she was in the U.S., and I suddenly got really, really addicted to Filipinas. I mean, there was no shortage of Filipinas in the area of the United States where I was living in, and I had dated a few, but none of them happened to be like quasi-famous actresses from the Philippines until this one. So I got hooked. So segue.
King Baliw was born.
No. King Baliw wasn't born until Abby. Yeah, my hairy little fucking monkey. Oh my god, that chick. So
Abby, and then she had a threesome too, right?
No. Abby, I had. Abby was one of the first shoots. Abby, okay. Let me explain. Abby was working as a cam model, and like I said, I was involved in a home-based operation where I had a lot of downtime to sit in. Maybe let's just say I would manicure flowers. And so while I was trimming and manicuring flowers, I would sit there and watch Pinay cam models and talk to girls. So Abby was one of the first girls that I talked to from a adult cam modeling site. I told her, hey, I'm coming to the Philippines in a couple of months, and I want to shoot a couple of videos, and would you be interested? And her answer was, it's money, so yeah. I mean, it was just as easy as that. So anyway, backtracking a little bit. When I was working in the adult store, I was constantly exposed to videos. Hot chicks getting fucked. And I thought, well, somebody's got to do this, so might as well be me. So I started developing an interest in how to put together a production company. And that's when I kind of fucked up my life and went on a rampage and kind of beat the shit out of a neighbor of mine and got my ass thrown in the can for a while. While I was inside, a friend of mine who was an electrical engineer, he would travel to the Philippines periodically, like maybe once every 6 months, and he would be out here for about a month or two. And he would be working with the companies that his company would outsource circuit boards and shit like that. So he was coming out to the Philippines, and he was having a blast. And he comes and visits me in the joint one day, and he says, dude, man, I just got back from the Philippines, and we went to this club, like one of the guys that I work with, he took me to this club, and there was all these hot girls, and and I took her like into this private room, this VIP room. Yeah, and he's describing to me everything that I want to hear about this. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, tell me more. And he says, dude, it was so fucking dirt cheap. I had to pay her, but I fucked her, and she was so goddamn hot. I'm like, wow, okay, that's great. Sounds awesome. So he says, this is what I'm going to do. He says, as soon as you get out, I'm going to use some of my frequent flyer miles. Bro, you've been talking about getting into the adult business anyway for a while. So I'm going to hook you up with a ticket to fly out to the Philippines. He says, we'll buy a video camera and you can learn how to do all the editing and all that. And I was already doing graphic design and retouching and all that kind of shit. I'm no stranger to Photoshop and advertising and everything. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. So when I got out, off I went to the Philippines for my first trip. That is when I met Abby face to face. Abby was cool. She showed up with 2 girls with her. And she said, oh, these are my friends, and they're interested in also doing some shoots. And I'm like, yeah, you do realize, your friends do realize that I'm going to fuck them on a video, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's no problem. I'm like, all right, cool. So that was Manila and what was her name? Shane, I think.
That's for Hot Manila Night, correct?
The Manilyn and Shane shoot were, I shot them for HMN. Well, the pictures got released on HMN. The videos never got released because of a, sad to say, data, corruption on the files. Well, I was really paranoid about traveling between international borders with homemade porn made in a third world country. I'm thinking I get back to the United States and they are going to fucking sweat me hard about, oh, you brought a laptop with you. Okay, so let's see what's on the laptop. So I was encouraged by Jimmy Regina, who I had already been talking to for a while, to make sure that none of those files were on my computer when I crossed the border. So what I did was I encrypted the files and then I uploaded them to a cloud. And thanks to Kim.com and his stupid fucking site, all the data I uploaded got corrupted. So I come out for my first trip and I'm thinking, this country is absolutely insane. I land and like within a matter of a couple of days of landing, I've already got girls showing up. I mean, it was just so easy. And not only did girls show up that I had prearranged to meet, but they were also bringing their friends. My initial plan was to come to the Philippines and I was going to shoot 6 scenes. Only 6. Because I figured, all right, let's make some money. If I shoot 6 scenes, that's enough for a DVD. I can release a DVD into the retail sector. So my original intention was to only shoot 6 videos and then be done with the country. But I got addicted. Well, like I said, I already like Filipino girls because of my experience with this well-known artist. And once I landed in the Philippines and found out that it was probably the easiest country you could ever go to shoot adult video, I thought, I really like this place. The humidity fucking sucks. The heat, it's terrible. But the girls, some really hot girls, and I found it surprisingly easy to get these really beautiful girls to drop their panties and open their legs. So I thought, I like this. I like this a lot.
It does take skill when dealing with Filipinas.
There's the job that comes with
some are what we call maarte, drama queen,
you gotta
really know their personalities and how Filipinas have or their tendencies, right?
Well, let's just say I would say that Filipinos are definitely from a different planet. If you're from the United States, coming to the Philippines is like landing on a different planet. It's not just stepping into a different country. It's the culture differences and the attitudes. So I found that they're easy to talk to. You just make them laugh. So there I am.
Or sing, right? They like to sing.
Yeah, but I don't sing. I mean, listen to my voice.
Karaoke's there.
Yeah, everybody karaoke's here really fucking badly, so I am not a fan of the karaoke at all.
It's fun, right? You drink a bunch of San Miguel, Red Horse, and you karaoke.
No, it's not. I like the I like the drinking the beer part, but the singing, no. Shut the fuck up. Turn the goddamn. You know what? Turn the echo off. You don't need to sound like you're inside of a goddamn seashell. So no, I'm not a fan of the karaoke one bit at all. So, my first trip out here, a friend of mine from the United States who got deported back to the Philippines, he says, "Oh, dude, you ever come to the Philippines? Just let me know. I'll hook you up. I'll let you stay in my house and nah." So, I got there, and sure as shit, he hooked me up with a big, beautiful home that he was willing to let me use out in the middle of East Buttfuck Province. And yeah, you know, the cow, or not the cow, pig breeders next door. So yeah, the neighborhood smelled like shit. And like my first taste of Philippines was, you know, I liked it, but I hated the smell of the pig shit, and I thought, you know, I couldn't do this forever. It just turns out.
Like, if you're from NorCal, you smell it all the time on Highway 5, and you're familiar with the area.
I've lived all over the United States, actually, so the smell of piggeries, I've known it in driving past them. The smell of cow farms, yeah, I grew up in the Midwest, where there was a lot of cow farming. And big chicken places that do, you know, 10,000 chickens. Good fucking God. I don't want to ever live next to one of those places. They smell like toxic waste dumps. So anyway, so here I am in the province, and oh, fuck it. I'll just go ahead and say my boy gave me his house to use in Bulacan. So here I am in Bulacan. I got this big fucking house, and just within like 2 days of arriving, I've already got girls showing up. Like, wow, this is great. So, one of the first girls to show up was Abby and her two friends, Manilyn and Shane. So, while we're hanging out, I was trying to keep things light, trying to keep the atmosphere fun. So I'm trying to be kind of a silly goofball to keep these girls constantly laughing so they remain comfortable in my presence. Because after all, I am asking a lot of them. I'm asking a lot of trust. And really, usually, hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. By the way, go into the bathroom, make sure your asshole is really clean and you've got a fresh shave on your pussy, and we'll get started. You know, as a producer, you're asking these girls a lot. So the easiest way of doing a job, I think, in this kind of realm is to keep the girl laughing. So Abby, I had her rolling, I mean, just in stitches. She was laughing nonstop, and she kept saying the word Baliw, Baliw, Baliw. And I'm like, what the fuck is this blue shit? And she's like, not blue, Baliw. I'm like, all right, what is Baliw? She says, oh, it means crazy. And she said, you're Baliw, you're Baliw. And I was like, oh, okay. And just off the cuff, I was like, well, I'm sorry, but that's not Baliw, okay? To you, you can call me King Baliw. I was just trying to keep the joking going. So that's where the name came from. Ever since, ever since the moniker stuck.
Well, you made a name for yourself, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing, but
obviously a lot of people are enjoying the name and the content that comes with it.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, why do I always have to be so goddamn fucking controversial? Oh, dude, you've seen the comments on the Trike Patrol site. I've got more critics that are quasi-autistic than I have ever seen in my entire life for anyone else.
Well, one reason is because you provided a lot of content, so there's, you get comments because you're all over the site for the last, I don't know, was it 7, 8, 9 years or something?
Oh, at least.
Provided a lot, so you're all over the site, so comments for sure.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of it has got to do with just a touch of jealousy. I mean, every time someone comes onto the site and wants to criticize the mask or criticize the fact that I'm wearing gloves for a couple of months because I happen to have hand surgery, that's what that was all about, by the way. And it just everything, they nitpick everything. Jesus fucking Christ. If you don't like the way I shoot it, bro, come here to the Philippines, shoot your own video.
Well, I will say you do very well picking models. You have brought a lot of really cute models.
Well, I guess that's one of the nice things about being a producer. I get to choose who I work with. And if I don't like a girl, I could say, no, I'm not sticking my dick in you. Sorry, you know. But if I like a girl, yeah, then yeah, it's on. I chase it.
Now, I do want to bring up a specific model, Joy, which I always brag about.
Oh, Big Booby Joy.
Oh yeah, Booby Teen Joy.
Oh yeah, she had miracle tits.
Those were natural, right?
They were natural. When you can, it's extremely rare to run into a girl with a set of knockers like that in the Philippines. I've actually had 2 girls with bodies like that as girlfriends, and they were absolutely impossible to keep. God. When a girl knows her tits are that hot, she's nothing but trouble in this country. Don't even try.
You get the looks for sure.
You just don't see it a lot.
Yeah.
Also, that other chick you shot, I think she had milk coming out of her titties, and you picked her up while she was taking a piss, if I remember right.
Can you recall that scene?
No, the girl that was taking a piss was, oh fuck, what was her stage name? Shit, you're gonna make me open files here. Hang on, oh Christ, I don't even have that drive plugged in. Hang on a second. I think she had, Yumi.
Yes, Yumi it is. Milk coming out of her titties. If anybody remembers that. That scene.
Yumi did not have any milk in her boobs. Oh, she just had big boobs.
Oh, just big boobs. Sorry. I mean, there's just so many chicks that I get mixed up sometimes.
Oh no, that's okay. Like most of my models, she's a mother now, so.
Yeah, by now most of them are, right? Well, in the Philippines, it's not. It's pretty normal to be like 19 with kids, right? With 3 kids or something.
Well, let's just say that my history here in the Philippines, the Catholic Church pretty much controls the minds of most of the people here, and they seem very adamantly against practicing family planning or any kind of, the Catholic Church is against birth control.
Yeah.
So yeah, they end up mothers quite young here.
Yeah, as I've seen personally. So yeah, that's a whole different story. But thank you for sharing. So I want to talk about a couple other scenes. How about Sabiera, or how do you say it? Sabiera? You remember her?
Jesus Christ, do I remember her? Oh yeah, dude, I was banging her for a while off camera.
And she was, I think, 2017 Stunner of the year, probably the top Trike Patrol scene of that year. Was it 2017 or 2018? But it doesn't matter the year. She was a stunning, beautiful, sexy, perfect ass Filipina, and you were one lucky guy to have banged her, as you said, off camera as well, so many times.
Well, the thing about her was she was already an extremely in-demand freelance model. The photographers loved her because she would be willing to get naked. And let's face it, 99% of the photographers in this country, the only reason why they get into photography and they go ahead and spend the money for a decent camera is because they want to be in the same room with naked girls. So yeah, she was already wildly in demand. She was constantly working. And when I met her, she was just so personable and a lot of fun to hang out with. And even though I didn't shoot her the first night I met her, I was actually scheduled to shoot her friend, Trisha. But shit, I shouldn't have said Trisha. The fuck was her name? Scarlett. That was her name.
Scarlett. Okay, yeah, beautiful LBFM Scarlett. Another probably top 10, top 20 all-time Trike Patrol scene.
Yes, Scarlett and Sabier were a package deal.
Shit, that's a hell of a package, I'd say that.
Yeah, I met them both face to face for the first time on the same night, and we got back to the hotel and ordered a couple of pizzas, a couple of bottles of wine, and next thing I know, I'm fucking Sabier in the living room, and Scarlett's just there hanging out, and she was just fun as fuck. So yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to Filipina content, you have for sure done your part. You've provided a lot of just great content and scenes for Trike Patrol and for your own site, and so I really adore everything you have done. All the scenes you've shot. I mean, like I always say, you are the king. I like to brag about that a lot.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't really go that far. I mean, the whole King Baliw shit. I mean, like I said earlier, that was just from joking around. I mean, that's got nothing to do with my personal ego or anything like that.
Yeah, but like I said, you've done a great job. So now, are you in the Philippines right now?
In fact, I am.
Now, I'm always, because as myself, I've left the States back in the days, went to the Philippines to go to school and all that shit. So I know what it's like coming from America and having to adapt to the Philippines and just living there. So what would you say is some of the differences that might be interesting to our listeners to hear?
Well, if you're from the United States and ever visited Florida, landing here is like landing in Florida. It's hot, it's muggy, and it's just in general a very uncomfortable place to be outside. I mean, unless you're at the beach, the water in the ocean here is awesome. It's as warm as a bathtub. But and then we get into the cultural differences and the differences in how people in general go about their day-to-day lives. It's a different planet. I've never seen drivers this bad, except for maybe in India. Like, they're really bad drivers here.
There's no discipline, and I'm being freaking honest. And I've driven from the province to Manila, and each time I freaking drove to Manila, I got pulled over. And they call it for one reason. I totally forgot about the freaking coding, so I wasn't supposed to drive to Manila on a Friday. I went, and my dumbass went to Manila on a Friday. Right away, got pulled over on Mindanao Street or whatever, and had to throw a little cheese, to get out of it. But and also swerving. I got pulled over for freaking changing lanes or whatever too damn fast. But it's like, dude, are there even lanes in Manila? Like, come on, who follows the damn lanes when driving in?
Nobody, bro. Nobody knows what a fucking lane is in this country. That's for fact. I'm a bundle of nerves. Every time I have to get into a car, I don't drive in Manila. I'll drive in the province, no problem. But in Manila, forget it. I hate driving in Manila.
I gave up. It's impossible. And then when you get to a stoplight, there's like 4. I swear to God, I remember stopping the first time at a stoplight driving in Manila, and as I'm stopped, all of a sudden there's like 50 motorcycles just surrounding me. It's like, and if I hit one, I'm gonna be asked to pay, whatever, to get out of it when it's not even my freaking fault.
Yeah, that's one of the differences that people need to be aware of when coming to this country. You guys got to realize that if you're gonna get behind the wheel, you got to realize that if anyone hits you, it's still your fault. Especially if you're a foreigner, it's always your fault.
Yes, when you show that license, that California, New York, or whatever Florida license, and they see that you're from America. And really, as a tourist, if you don't have your Philippine driver's license, they want you to carry your passport because you are given, I think, 3 to 6 months, something like that. but you have to prove when you arrived in the Philippines. And I told the MDMA, whatever they call the local freaking whatever you call them, the patrol or whatever. It's like, I'm not driving around with my passport. No, so it's pretty dumb. It's like, I'll just carry
that's actually
flight ticket or whatever.
Yeah, that's actually another good piece of advice for first-timers coming to the Philippines. Don't carry your passport. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because all it's going to take is one little fucking run-in, and you're going to get some douchebag who wants money from you, and that passport, oh, yeah. They love taking people's passports here.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, so... That's the problem.
Yeah. If you come to this country... Take a photo Xerox copy of your passport. Leave the actual passport hidden at home or in your hotel or whatever.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Now, how about when it comes to food? Are you able to eat whatever, or are you limited on your options? But I know there's a lot of American foods now out there. There's like Burger King and all that. They have some decent burgers. I never really found good Mexican food, which I love Mexican food, but it's really hard to find out there.
Mexican food is a rare oddity that you really, really have to be lucky to stumble across. And no, it's the truth. Mexican food here in this country, not good. They do not do Mexican food well at all.
No, I agree with that. But there's a lot of good like gyros. If people don't know what I'm talking about, maybe gyros. Well, but from my understanding, it's gyro. But they have a lot of that in shawarmas, like everywhere. That's a big thing that Filipinos love, are shawarmas and gyros. So, when it comes to food, there's always that option. I know there's a couple Subways around, but you'll never find a good American sandwich, I'll tell you that. Or I like to say sandwich.
Yeah, well, Burger King was fine back in the day.
Yeah.
But now that they moved over to this impossible meat substitute shit, Burger King can kiss my fucking ass. Fuck them. I will never eat one of their fucking fake meat burgers ever again.
Bro, you have
Fuck you, Burger King.
You have the option to get a regular burger. I like Burger King. Don't say that about Burger King. I like them.
I love Burger King, bro. Give me a fucking 3-meat Whopper with cheese and just, I'm a true carnivore. I love that. The first time I came here, I was a fat boy because of Burger King. Every night on my way to go on my way to work, when I was working as security in a club, I would always down 2 of those big ass fucking 2,000 calorie burgers on the drive over, and just oh my god, eat those things all the time. Yeah, you turn into a big fucking hippo. Anyway, so the last time we ordered, see, now everybody orders food through Grab. Grab will deliver just about anything
at a very good price, right?
And no, it's not a very good price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they tack on a few dollars, and yeah, it still beats sitting in traffic and trying to fuck with the congestion on the road just to fly out to Burger King.
Yeah.
So
traffic is a nightmare out there, I will say.
So I guess Burger King made the Impossible Whopper as an option in the United States. Well, it doesn't seem to be an option here in the Philippines.
Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why you were a little mad at Burger King for doing that. Oh yeah, it's an option here.
I'm not a little mad. Yeah. I'm not a little mad. I'm fucking livid. It tastes like shit.
Yeah, it's not what we're used to, and that's the thing, in the Philippines. That's when I was there for years at a time, it's like I just want a burger that I grew up eating, and I could never find it until I found Burger King on Rotunda and Welcome in Manila. When I would literally cut classes to go get a burger, because that's how much I missed it.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Well, I suppose I'll give them another shot, but only if it's one of those situations where I happen to be driving by and I can go in and be very specific. Do not give me that plant-based fucking hockey puck. It tastes like shit. Don't even try to feed it to me. I want a fucking dead cow. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna quite understand where you're going with it, but you might have to be a little more specific. Just give me a real burger.
Right, right.
That's another thing. Do you ever have a hard time communicating with Filipinos? Because, like myself, our English is a little slang compared to like Europeans. Like those speak a little more proper English, and in the Philippines, their English is a little more proper than ours, right? So you have to kind of slow it down, kind of like use certain words. Like if you and I talk, we could talk like this and we'll understand each other. But in the Philippines, I found it's different. You gotta be a little more clear, slow it down, use certain words.
Yes, everybody complains that I do speak too fast in this country.
Well, that's how I say like to a lot of the Mexicans I know. When they speak Spanish, they just blah, 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 blah. It's like if you slow down, I can pick up
Right.
words and I can understand. But when it's your own language, you speak it at your own pace, right?
Right. Well, I mean, like I'm comfortable with the language. I was raised speaking it, so yeah. English is supposed to be one of the two national languages in this country. I don't know what the fuck happened, but they don't exactly do English really well here.
Well, now it's also Korean. Like everybody is a Korean drama or fan of the fucking TV shows and the boy bands. That's like really big. Last time I was in the Philippines, it's like everybody listened to freaking Korean music. It's like, how are you listening to something you don't understand? Like what's up, Philippines? I always found that.
Oh, they only. Well, yeah, the melodramas that are from Korean TV, they get translated into, or they get voiced over in Tagalog for the TV shows here.
Oh,
and
because I know it's really big now.
Yeah, it used to be back in the day that if you came here and you were, a white American, holy fucking shit, you would have them lined around the block. Nowadays, girls don't want to give you the time of day because I'm not Korean. So
yeah, I noticed that in Walking Street when I was out there. It's like there's just so many Koreans, and I guess chicks like Koreans now. But hey, I'd rather be American. I'll tell you that.
that's because of the Korean with a prostitute rule. It's the rule of threes. 3,000 pesos for 3 minutes, only taking 3 inches.
Well, again, I'd rather be an American.
Yeah. But when I've got girls telling me that they don't want to sleep with me because I'm too goddamn big for them and they like Korean guys because they have normal sized dicks, I'm like, fuck you.
I guess they like getting tickled, right?
There's a lot of Korean criminals here in this country. A lot of Korean, I guess, what you would call gangsters from Korea. And it turns out, and the truth is that South Korea is not a very happy place for Koreans to live, even though it's considered a first world nation. And they have a lot of opportunity and jobs, and they've got way better chances than they do in North Korea. That's for goddamn sure. But a lot of the Koreans that end up here in the Philippines, I swear to God, like 90% of them are criminals that are wanted in South Korea, and that's the reason why they're here is because they fled South Korea. So
a lot now in Angeles City. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but when I would go to Angeles, it's like all Koreans now. All the like the bars
exactly all
owned by Americans is now owned by Koreans, or used to be Austin.
Because all the Korean criminals came up here with all their fraud money, and they tried taking over Angeles City.
Yeah, it looks like they were somewhat successful, right? Because a lot of businesses seem to just be owned by Koreans now in AC. So, less Americans, I'd say.
Well, the Americans, every time an American is running a bar in Angeles City, they get run out of town.
Yep.
Because here corruption is just brutally bad. I mean, if you're running a bar in Angeles City, you're going to get a visit from the police, and you are going to be told how much, and we're talking tens of thousands in pesos worth of donations to your local police department. So
Yeah, and when you don't
you get
pay,
these
you get
American,
closed down. All of a sudden, you have that
yeah,
letter on your door that says closed. I've seen it.
yep, yep, yep. So the Americans here, they're just like, no, I'm not going to pay you off just to stay in business. Man, your doors are shut.
Yeah, that's and also it's been like I always tell people, it's been a while since our bases were open. So I want to say that's one reason that we might be seeing less Americans. Do you agree? I've kind of felt that way.
Yeah, I really think the amount of Americans coming to this country has thinned out in drastic numbers.
Yes, yeah, I've made that point too. It's like the older generation that used to go to AC all the time, that had the opportunity as a serviceman to stay and be based out there. They're a lot older now, so they're not making the trips anymore, and the newer generations just aren't as American as compared to like I said, it's the Koreans now. You got the Aussies, and they're a lot closer too compared to the states. So that's probably it's easier for them to make trips out there frequently.
I think as it goes right now, the highest number of foreigners in the Philippines are Chinese,
Correct. Yeah.
followed by Koreans in the second close place, followed in third place by Australians, followed by fourth place. I would say probably Nigeria holds fourth place.
Yeah, and it's funny
It's
I would go.
it's Nigeria central in this country.
Yeah, and I well also South Africans because I would be in the club, and every time I'd see a what I would think was an American, I'd go, I say, hey, what's up, man? What's up, bro? That's just me. And sometimes so you're American, and they're like, no, I'm from South Africa, and but it was always cool to meet nice people, and I went to Haiso a lot. That was my place. Again, that's in Angeles City. So that was a lot of fun. For 3,000 pesos, I'd get me a small little table and, ask some girls if they want to have some drinks and enjoy the night.
Oh, Jesus Christ, those days are over. 3,000, 3K for a table? Forget it. That's not happening now. Yeah, that's not happening now.
Really? Wow. I know the bigger tables were 10,000. It's consumable though. You just have to spend that amount of money. If you don't spend it, you still got to pay that price. And if you go over, you pay what's the difference.
Yeah. Did you ever go into Time when it was open in Makati before they got raided?
In Metro, I would go to High Society. I'm an idiot. No. Valkyrie. That's the only place I would really go, and I would go to like Kesnav. But no, I haven't heard of the place you just mentioned.
Time was great. We've had some really, really good talent for DJs on the international scene, including what's her name? The ex porn star turned DJ Sasha Grey.
Oh, okay, nice. Sasha Grey.
Yeah, if you know who I'm talking about, the model that I have with the stage name Sasha.
Yeah,
she was. Yeah, she was a big Sasha Grey fan, so that's why she chose Sasha as her stage name. So I heard Sasha Grey was going to be playing at Time, so I took Sasha and my girl there that night just to surprise her, and oh my God. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, as they say, it's more fun in the Philippines. I'd say that, and it's a great place.
But Time was one of those places where you could get a stand-up table for 3K, and 3K bought you a bottle of like Jack Daniels. But I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. 3K, that's like a $75 fucking bottle of Jack Daniels.
Which out here, I mean, now even till now, alcohol hasn't really gone too much up in price. So even now, Jack is, I want to say, just the regular size bottle is probably $15. So, and even then, if you're saying it was 3K, that's pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, $75 is a little bit excessive for a bottle of Jack Daniels for a stand-up table, anyway.
Yeah.
Like we would go into Royal and we pay 10, 15,000 in consumables, and we would get a booth.
Yeah.
and a lot of fucking liquor flowing at the table. So, I mean, you get your money's worth in some places you don't. But places like Time were really great because you could run into an international crowd because we had some like really stellar DJs coming through there.
Uh-huh.
Poor Time, rest in peace.
Yeah. Well, do you have any links you want to share on for our listeners, bro?
Lakes.
I'm sorry, links.
Yeah.
I, I know you're still on Twitter, correct?
Yes, I'm at symbol KBHMNTP, short for King Baliw, Hot Manila Nights, Trike Patrol. So KBHMNTP on Twitter. And then I've run that clusterfuck hotmanilanights.com for ages. One of these days, I'll actually get it popping again. I've just been in a really shitty business relationship, and I decided, you know what? If my webmaster doesn't want to do his job, then fuck you. I'm not doing any updates. I'll starve you.
There you go. All right. Is there anything else you want to share with the listeners, bro?
No. Hey, too bad we don't have a call-in.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty fun, right?
Oh, that'd be wild. Get one of my fucking stalkers.
Yeah. Well, for now, I know we're going to talk in the near future, bro, but thank you for coming on the podcast, and it's going to be a very, very interesting interview for all of our fans and listeners to enjoy.
I'm looking forward to the comments from the haters. They should be funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna brew my coffee and get it ready before I watch or I check out the comments because I'm sure it's gonna be pretty interesting. But hey, comments, feedback only make us better.
Yeah, exactly.
And annoys us sometimes, but hey, it's a business. We gotta listen to the fans.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not my fault that the chick that they've been talking to for fucking 6 months has been double timing them and fucking every guy on the side when they can't afford to bring their ass to the Philippines and marry the bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's why we provide them with the content of beautiful Filipinas while they're in the States to enjoy, right?
Yes, and if it happens to be your fiance that you're madly in love with, I'm sorry, bro. She didn't tell me about you, and you guys got to realize something. That life can be difficult here, and sometimes these girls do jobs that are based on financial decisions. And if you're not sending her a shitload of fucking money, she's gonna come to somebody like me and she's gonna say, "Oh, well, here's a fucking 1 month payout in 1 day of work." So yeah, sure. But if you're engaged to one of these girls and then you end up seeing her later on the site, also try to remember that these scenes are held back, so it wasn't just shot 3 days before you seen it on the site. Cut the girl some slack, talk to her. Find out maybe if she was going through some shit in her life where she needed a lot of money, and if it was before you, because sometimes it's not all about you.
No, it's not, right?
And I'm keeping the mask. If you hate it, I don't give a fuck.
You guys heard it. He's keeping the mask. I personally, I don't mind the mask. I'm not. As a fan years ago, I wasn't really tuning in to watch the mask. I was tuning in to watch the beautiful Filipinas getting their pecs plowed by KB himself with the mask on.
Right. I mean, one would tend to think that the feature should be the model itself, not me.
Not KB in his mask, right?
Right.
All right, bro. Well, we'll talk again soon, and hey, maybe a part 2 if you're up for it. All right.
Oh yeah, anytime, because I could go on forever, I guess.
Yeah, And we haven't even touched a lot of other topics, which I said before the interview that, you and I, we should probably do that off camera because we won't shut the fuck up, right?
Right.
We'll enjoy it a little bit too much. All right, bro. Well, I'm going to
Well,
let you go, and we'll have a part 2 sometime soon, perhaps.
Sounds good, Mr. C. I appreciate the time.
All right. You take care, bro. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother.